Hi everyone. Today we're diving into future plans in Spanish, an important topic. We'll focus on the structure infinitivo, which is similar to going to in English but has a few grammatical twists. We'll also cover how to ask qué planes tienes. Get ready to practice, because being able to discuss your future is essential for conversations in Spanish. Hola everyone and welcome back. It's great to see you. Let's quickly refresh our memories. Remember,
Alarma,
means alarm,
desayuno,
is breakfast,
trabajar,
means to work,
estudiar,
is to study, and
descansar,
means to relax. We also learned
cita,
city,
vicino,
near, and
lontano.
far. Today, we're going to use these words as we build on what we already know.
Me despierto cuando suena mi alarma. Me despierto cuando suena mi alarma.
Normalmente desayuno a las 7. Normalmente desayuno a las 7.
Yo voy a viajar a España. Yo voy a viajar a España.
Great job, Emily. She said,
Yo voy a viajar a España.
meaning I'm going to travel to Spain. Notice how to go, is conjugated as voy because she's saying I am going. Then, connects it to the infinitive viajar, to travel. This structure is crucial for discussing near future plans and intentions. Let's check out how to conjugate this will help you form your sentences right.
¿Qué vas a hacer mañana? ¿Qué vas a hacer mañana?
James just asked.
¿Qué vas a hacer mañana?
Meaning, what are you going to do tomorrow? Pay attention to that question mark at the end. The key here is que, what, placed right before the verb vas a hacer. Hacer means to do or to make. Remember, question words usually come before the verb when asking in Spanish. It's a small but significant detail.
Voy a estudiar español. Voy a estudiar español.
Emily says,
Voy a estudiar español.
I'm going to study Spanish. The verb estudiar means to study. It's super important to know this verb if you're learning Spanish. Try using it in your own sentences. Voy a estudiar matemáticas. I'm going to study math. Always remember to conjugate properly before adding the infinitive.
Yo voy a trabajar en la cocina. Yo voy a trabajar en la cocina.
James shared,
Yo voy a trabajar en la cocina.
I'm going to work in the kitchen. Trabajar means to work. Notice he's using en la cocina, which means in the kitchen. Location phrases are crucial for adding detail. Don't forget the article la before cocina because it's a feminine noun.
Vamos a ir al cine. Vamos a ir al cine.
Emily said,
Vamos a ir al cine.
which means we're going to go to the movies. Here, is conjugated as vamos because they are talking about we. Notice al sin, which is a contraction of a el sin, to the cinema. These contractions are common in Spanish. Mastering them makes your Spanish sound more fluent.
¿Qué planes tienes para el fin de semana? ¿Qué planes tienes para el fin de semana?
James asked.
¿Qué planes tienes para el fin de semana?
This is a super useful phrase meaning what plans do you have for the weekend? It literally means what plans do you have? Remember planes is plural. Practice using this phrase to ask about others' weekend activities. It shows you're interested in what they're up to.
No tengo planes todavía. No tengo planes todavía.
Emily says,
No tengo planes todavía.
I don't have any plans yet. It's important to use tenor to have here, not sir or estar. Remember, tenor expresses possession or obligation. When talking about future plans, tenor planes is the correct phrase. Avoid the common mistake of using sir or estar for your plans.
Voy a ir al parque. Voy a ir al parque.
James states,
Voy a ir al parque.
I'm going to go to the park. Let's quickly review the use of al, a contraction of a l. L is the masculine definite article. Using al correctly improves your fluency. This little detail can significantly enhance your overall Spanish.
Espero viajar pronto. Espero viajar pronto.
Emily says,
Espero viajar pronto.
I hope to travel soon. Here, espero means I hope and is followed by the infinitive viajar. While we focused on Knowing Espero expands your vocabulary. It expresses a desire or wish for the future, giving you another tool for communication.
¿Te gustaría venir a mi fiesta? ¿Te gustaría venir a mi fiesta?
James asks,
¿Te gustaría venir a mi fiesta?
would you like to come to my party? This is a more polite way to invite someone than just a straightforward question. Using gustaría shows respect and consideration. Remember, practice is key, and always try to use what you've learned. Alright, let's wrap this up. Today, we explored how to express future plans in Spanish using infinitive. We learned to ask que planes tienes, and practiced key vocabulary like viajar, trabajar, and estudiar. Don't forget to conjugate correctly and be mindful of the subtle distinctions between tener, ser, and estar. Keep practicing, and you'll be chatting about your future plans in Spanish before you know it.
Gracias. Gracias.
De nada. De nada.
Voy a pasar tiempo con mis amigos. Voy a pasar tiempo con mis amigos.
Let's introduce time markers that frequently accompany future plans using infinitive. Words like mañana tomorrow, la semana que viene next week, el mes que viene next month, and el año que viene next year add specificity and context to your future predictions. These are placed directly after a.
Voy a ir a la playa mañana. Voy a ir a la playa mañana.
A common mistake is placing the time marker before a. Remember, it always comes after. For example, it's incorrect to say mañana voy a ir a la playa. The correct order is voy a ir a la playa mañana. Pay attention to this order, it's a key element of natural-sounding Spanish.
La semana que viene voy a estudiar. La semana que viene voy a estudiar.
Sometimes, you'll see future actions described using a specific time or day of the week. For example, lo voy a hacer en 2 días, I'm going to do it in 2 days, or te veo en el sábado, I'll see you on Saturday. En indicates a specific point in the future relative to the present.
Voy a visitar a mi abuela en enero. Voy a visitar a mi abuela en enero.
While infinitive expresses a definite plan, remember it doesn't always convey absolute certainty. You can also use it to express a strong possibility. The context usually clarifies whether it's a confirmed plan or just a likely scenario. This is different from using the future tense, which is less common in spoken Spanish.
Creo que voy a comer pizza esta noche. Creo que voy a comer pizza esta noche.
To further emphasize possibility, you can use tal vez perhaps before infinitive. For example, tal vez voy a ir al cine means perhaps I will go to the cinema. This highlights a lack of certainty compared to a definitive plan.
Tal vez voy a comprar un coche nuevo. Tal vez voy a comprar un coche nuevo.
You can combine time markers with tal vez. For instance, tal vez voy a viajar a Mexico el próximo verano, perhaps I will travel to Mexico next summer. This structure offers a nuanced expression of a future plan that is not yet confirmed.
Tal vez voy a ir al concierto el sábado. Tal vez voy a ir al concierto el sábado.
In spoken Spanish, is often contracted to va. For example, voy a becomes va. While you'll see in writing, va is extremely common in conversation. Listen carefully for this contraction and don't be alarmed when you hear it.
Va a llover mañana. Va a llover mañana.
When expressing future actions that involve yourself or that have a personal effect, we often use reflexive verbs with infinitive. This means the action is something you do to yourself. For example, I am going to wash myself uses a reflexive verb. It's crucial to remember to conjugate the reflexive pronoun correctly, me, t, si, nos, os, si before
Voy a lavarme la cara mañana. Voy a lavarme la cara mañana.
Note the placement of
Me.
before
Lavarme.
in voy a lavarme la cara mañana. This is standard for reflexive verbs. A common mistake is forgetting the pronoun or placing it incorrectly. It always comes before the verb. Listen carefully to the pronunciation. The R in
Lavarme.
is a strong, trilled R.
Nos vamos a peinar más tarde. Nos vamos a peinar más tarde.
Let's quickly recap. We've explored using a infinitive to express future plans, incorporating time markers, expressing possibility with talvez, and recognizing the common contraction va. Now, try creating your own sentences using these elements. Okay, everyone, let's quickly recap what we learned today. We focused on talking about future plans in Spanish. Remember, a key structure we covered was
Ir a infinitive.
which is a really useful and common way to express what you're going to do. All right, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question 1. What is the main grammatical structure introduced in this lesson for expressing future plans? The correct answer is the structure infinitive. This is the most common and natural way to talk about future plans. Next question. What is the most natural Spanish equivalent of what plans do you have? It's ¿qué planes tienes? This literally translates to what plans do you have? And is perfectly natural in Spanish. And finally, which verb is used to express to have when asking about plans? The answer is
Tener.
remember.
Tener.
Means to have and is essential for framing questions about plans.
Practica usando el futuro simple para contar tus planes. Ahora, escribe 3 cosas que vas a hacer el fin de semana. Practica usando el futuro simple para contar tus planes. Ahora, escribe 3 cosas que vas a hacer el fin de semana.